Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video with the Adventures of the Memory Makers. If you watch our channel, you probably know that we do a lot of videos on our teardrop camper. Well, today we're up at our private campsite in our woods, and we're going to do a little bit different video today. We're not going to be featuring the teardrop camper. Instead, we're going to be featuring our new multi-purpose building that we built up here at our campsite. And the main feature that I want to address with this building is a super simple solar setup that I put in it. That's a mouthful in it.
Made me laugh.
Yeah, so a super simple solar setup for essentially what this is a small shed that we have up here that we use for storage of camping items. And I wanted some power capability in it to have lights, to have the ability to charge our phones, you know, and to be able to have some lights outside. It's super simple that anybody can do. So come on inside here and I'll show you what we've set up. Like I said, it's a very simple structure, 6 foot by 6 foot with an 8 foot ceiling, simple shed style. I did put a really neat translucent roof in it, so in the daytime there's not a whole lot of need for additional light. But at nighttime, you know, our original intent for this was not only to store our camping items that we had to bring back and forth all the time, but also have a place for a small porta potty set up for the ladies so that they would be more comfortable over here at the campsite. So that's the reason it's what I call it a multi-purpose building. And to achieve the solar side of it, I had an existing 40-watt panel, and I'll show you a picture of it up on the roof, that came off of our sailboat. And I used it, put it up on the roof, ran the power down, and you're looking at 3 basic components, 4 if you count the panel. You know, you've got a battery, and this is a dual-purpose battery. This is the battery off my log lift on my log splitter. So it's going to stay inside this building and stay charged all the time. So whenever I need it for my log splitter, I'll just come over and grab it, go use my log splitter, take it back, put it back on charge, and it stays charged all the time. So you've got your battery, you've got your solar controller that controls the power coming from the solar panel to the battery. So this is between the panel and the battery, and this is what actually fluctuates the power from that panel to your battery to keep your battery charged, because once your battery gets charged, you don't want to continue to charge it or you will overcharge it. So just super simple there. And then from the battery, I ran up to a 12-volt fuse panel that I got off Amazon, and I'll put the links to the items that I've used here on Amazon. But you know, I've got right now 2 circuits. I've got one for the overhead lights, and then I also have one for electronics. And when I say electronics, it's pretty simple. It's a simple USB plug that also has a built-in lighted voltmeter. So it will show the state of charge of the battery. And Cindy's giggling. Why?
Because everything that you have has a readout so that you can check it.
Hey, state of charge is an important item.
That's true. That's true. But it gives you something to obsess over.
Well, the fact that it's lighted, you know, day or night, I can come in here and see what the state of charge of the battery is. So
yeah, I mean, it's important.
And with the cover down, you can still read it. I don't even have to turn the lights on here at night. I can see what the state of charge is.
That's great.
I will admit it's kind of redundant because this Renogy Voyager solar controller also shows state of charge. And it is backlit, but you got to press a button on it. So, like I said, this is just a super simple setup. I've been doing these little setups like this for a long time. They're just so simple that there's no reason not to do it on a small building like this. And the fact that we can come in here, we can put plug a phone charger into this port.
That is nice.
We'll be able to charge our phones here at the campsite.
Yeah.
Although the camper's sitting right over there, we can plug it into the camper as well.
But sometimes we come over and have a fire and we don't have the camper.
Exactly. So from here, like I said, this is a really pretty nice little fuse box, because not only does it have the power side of it for the 12-volt power, but it also has a negative bus bar up here so that you can run your negative leads up to this bus bar, have them tied into the grounds that go back to your battery. So that's a really nice setup, and I think it was like, geez, $15 or something for a 6 port fuse box right there, and it even comes with the fuses and these nice little stickers.
Does it have a readout?
No, that doesn't, but it is tied right to this way, so we get a readout there. Over here, I used a simple RV switch. It's a 3-position switch. So the first one here goes for the overhead lights, and then the second one, I wound up through a project with a bunch of these little 12-volt clear or white marker lights. So I wanted some light outside, so when we're here camping, that when you're walking back here in the dark, you aren't stumbling around trying to find where the bathroom's at. So on the outside, up here underneath the eaves, you can come up here and look. I mean, they're very small lights. They're not very bright. There's one on each corner, but I'll show you a picture of what it looks like in the dark. It really does a nice job
Yeah,
of,
it does.
of lighting
I
up
agree.
the multi-purpose building.
Yeah, we're going to tell them what we usually call it.
No, we can't.
Okay.
It does have a catchy little name, but we just can't share that on YouTube.
Can we say what it rhymes with?
No, we can't do that either.
Okay.
So, but the third switch, and I'm kind of excited about this. They just haven't come in yet. They're on, must be on a real slow boat getting here. But at night, when we're picking stuff up around the campsite, getting ready to go to bed, it would be really nice to have some light out here on the campsite area itself. So around the fire pit, when you're picking up chairs and looking for napkins and stuff to blow around. So what I've got coming are two 12-volt floodlights, LED, of course, and I'm going to put them, I'm going to attach them out here on trees and run them off that third switch. So when we're cleaning up at night, we'll just flip that switch and be able to have, it's not going to be like a spotlight, but it's going to be enough light that we'll be able to see. So if you have a small building somewhere out on your property and you would like to have some power, either lights, and you could take this, even further and, put a lithium battery in there if you want. You could put an AC inverter, a small one in there tied to the battery. I mean, there is a lot of capability beyond this. This is just a super simple setup that I wanted to do and show that, like I said, if you have a shed or a small building on your property, you can do something like this for a minimal expense and have, power and lights in your building.
And I think it's important to also highlight, you've got to put hooks on the wall for those, but we're going to keep the floor clear.
Yeah, because why?
Because I know you said there's no way a snake can get in there, but I want clear vision of the entire floor. I don't want any surprises when I open that door.
So the building is very tight. I should probably put an additional vent down at the bottom to get some airflow in it, because right now, I just have the E vents and I have the roof vent. But Cindy is terrified of snakes, so I built this, as tight as it can be. I wish every door that I put in closed as tightly as this one does. I merely threw that together out of some scrap wood. And that's another funny thing about this building was I'm a contractor, so I wind up with lots of materials left over, bits and pieces from this job and that job. So I hate to throw it all away. So I thought, I've got everything I need to build this building. That's a bad thought because I didn't have everything I needed. And a little 6x6 building today that I probably had 80% of the supplies to build still wound up getting in my pocket for $700. I mean, it's just crazy what things cost today. So to be able to put power in the building for, gosh, I bet all told between the lights and the wire, I may have $75 or $80 in actual cost out of pocket to set this up for solar. Now I already had the battery and I already had the solar panel because it came off our sailboat. But those two items combined would add you another 100, 150, depending on what you went with. So just a very simple setup, so much cheaper than trying to run wire off of an existing building back to another one and wire for 120. Just wanted to share this with you today. Just to let you know that there are options out there if you've got a little building and you want some lights and power in. So thank you very much for watching, and hope you come back and check out our other videos.
See you soon.